Baw'dhead.
We did the injection one day, and when I tell you that was the longest 24 hours of baby not moving or anything, I don't wish that on anybody. Um, so I had an epidural for 3 days. So they put the epidural in, did the injection. Um, I held her for 24 hours, and then the next day they put me into labor. And to speed up the labor, they did a balloon to help me dilate faster. And
Tyler
they told
sent you an awesome gift if you didn't notice it.
I didn't see it. I'm
Oh,
so sorry.
Tyler, that's awesome.
Is
Thank
that
you.
the fire on the screen?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. To go back and
Okay,
catch
so they
it.
give you an epidural for 3 days. Now, with the epidural, usually you can't even feel your legs. You can't even make yourself urinate or
Right.
anything, correct?
Correct. I couldn't feel anything from the waist down.
Okay. And you had noticed prior to that you actually did the baby had movement and things like that. So
Oh yeah, she was
24
extremely active.
active.
Like there was no doubt in that. I mean, she was extremely active up until we did the injection. Because even then, it was hard, like trying to get her to lay still so that they could do the injection.
Right. Now, okay, you're getting a lack of oxygen to your brain. You know that and sometimes when you get a lack of oxygen to your brain, you don't always think clearly. So that's why I want to make a note to say that she's getting a lack of oxygen to her brain, as well as the baby. So then they give you the epidural. You had the epidural for 3 days, and they give you the injection. So at this point, you notice the baby has less activity, less movement. So you know that.
I mean, the injection I'm talking about is the one to stop her heartbeat.
Okay.
So it's that long needle that they push through your stomach.
Okay.
So when one of the specialists that had saw me that Monday when she came in and did the procedure, I did have them print a picture of the baby right before, so it's kind of almost got like her last little picture there, I guess you can say. And then at that point, I think is when I really understood what she was saying, that I couldn't deliver her the same day, that I was going to have to lay there and hold the baby for 24 hours after that.
Wow.
So they did the injection, and it was just an awkward feeling of like no more movement, no more kicking, no more stretching, just no nothing. So that's just a mental battle that I don't wish on anybody.
Right. So did you have a vaginal delivery or did you have a C-section?
Yeah. Vaginal.
You had to vaginally deliver it. Was that a choice or did they give you a choice?
They said my odds of surviving a C-section was extremely slim. So I had to be alert, awake, to push and go through the process. So they inserted a balloon to help you to dilate faster. And they told me to call them when that balloon falls out. So I remember the balloon coming out. I remember paging the doctor. I remember the nurse coming in. I said to her, hey, my balloon just fell out. And I don't remember anything after that. So that's when the code blue happened.
Okay.
And the next thing that I remember is me waking up to them trying to put the mask over my face. Lots of commotion, lots of yelling. And they had already pulled the baby out at that point. I want to say they broke her arm in the process, but they did pull her out.
Wow. So, you all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just one of those, I'm trying to get used to telling the whole story, I guess. So, but, yeah.
And I appreciate that. I really do. I really appreciate you telling your story.
You're welcome.
You guys, just so you know, Boss Man controls the panel, and we are not allowing anybody to come up because this is Jetpack's moment. So Bossman and Winston, of course, they co-host. Bossman, I co-host, and Winston his assistant. But I really want to focus on Jetpack. So please don't request, and please don't take it personal. I just want to focus on her. Okay, so when you woke up, the baby was there. You had to hold the baby for how long?
After the injection for 24 hours.
Okay, you had to hold the baby in the vaginal area for
Yeah,
24
like
hours.
yeah,
Okay.
in the stomach. Hmm.
Okay, I thought you meant physically hold. Okay.
No, no, no.
And so when you woke up, right after they called the code blue, did you ever get to see the baby?
Yes.
Okay.
Before all of that took place, I told them, when she's born, they're gonna, take her out the room and they, clean them up and dress them. The only request I had is when you got ready to come back with her, do not just like walk into the room with her. I wanted them to knock to kind of give myself that time to just to mentally say, okay, they're here with the baby.
Right.
So after we're in the middle of all the code blue, and I the scream that my mom, I can hear my mom scream still to this day. With her screaming at my dad, she's gone, she's gone. I can still hear the screams and things like that. So once everything kind of calmed down and everybody comes back into the room and we kind of reset, they do bring her back to the room. And at that point, it was me, my mom, my dad, the husband, his mom, my pastor was there. And they brought her back in. So everybody got to hold her. And then my pastor, prayed over her. And after that, they came back and picked her up.
Wow. When just so you guys know too, when they call a code, they make the family leave the room, and it's because if this is the last time that you would see them, you wouldn't want to remember that person with somebody pouncing on their chest and all the things that they're doing during a code, because it's so rough sometimes, but you are doing everything you can actively to save a person's life. So they make sure that the family member is not in the room, is not present. And so that could have been too why her mom screamed, because she thought her daughter was gone. And you don't know what's going to happen until after the physicians come out and tell you either they're still here or they're gone. So I understand that situation. Wow, that's really hard. So you got to hold your baby, and your husband was with you, your mother-in-law, your parents. So that is awesome. And so after this all happens, what was your treatment? Because they told you only had a week, regardless of whether you had the baby or not.
Correct. So after that, they were able to put me on the Flowland, which is one of the medications that can give you through the pump that I have. So they were able to up my treatment in a sense, because we didn't have to worry about it causing, issues with the baby. So once I got on all of those medications, I could feel a difference in myself. Like it was almost as if I didn't feel so heavy in the chest, if that made sense. Right. It felt like like an elephant is sitting on me. Right. So I felt like I was able to kind of take those deep breaths in a sense. I was in the hospital for another week after delivering the baby, and they stopped talking about going to St. Louis. They said that my numbers weren't improving. So what they wanted to do was give me 30 days to go home, get everything together, and then I'll go to St. Louis. So my pressures had gone down after I had the baby. And then since the numbers were improving, I didn't have to rush to St. Louis right away. So I was supposed to be transported, from Piedmont to St. Louis. Now they were telling me I can go home. I got 30 days to kind of get everything in order, come back. They're going to retest, send those results to St. Louis, and then I'll go to St. Louis. When I went back for those tests, which was exactly 30 days later, that puts me on my dad's birthday, May 4th. We go up, we do the testing, which was a right heart cath, an echo, and then I can never remember the name of the test, but they do an ultrasound of the heart, but they flush it with agitated saline. So they agitate the saline and then flush it through your arteries, I guess, into the heart so you can see where the bubbles are and the flow of it. I can never remember the name of that test. So I did those 3 tests, and then the same pulmonologist that told me I had a week to live stood at the edge of the foot on my bed and looked me in my face, and he said, I do not know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. He was like, but you don't qualify to go to St. Louis. You're not sick enough to go to St. Louis. And we're like, okay, so what? So, because, we're thinking we're getting ready to go to do all these surgeries. And he's like, yeah, no, I can't send you to St. Louis. And so he said, we're just going to continue treatment here, and we'll see you in 30 days and retest. So went home, came back, retest. You're definitely not going to St. Louis. This is working for you. We'll see you in 3 months. And 3 months turned into 6 months.
So what was the time at home like for you when you were home with going through this?
So when I got out the hospital, it's still so funny with my parents. They were like, no, you're not staying at the apartment. You're coming home. And so me and the husband moved in with them because my mom was like, no, I need to be able to see you every day. He's working at night. You're not staying up there. You're here. I need to be able to see you. So I end up doubling back home with the hubby. And it was more of like, let's just get ready. My dad is one of those people, you know what you got to do, so let's do it. In a story. We're going to go up here, handle business, and come home. My mom was more, kind of a little worried. And then my husband, I think at that point he was just still in shock of everything that was going on. Like, with him, losing his daughter and then possibly could be losing me. When I look back on, I think he was just going with the motions of just going to work and just kind of just numb, I want to say, in a sense, to everything that was going on. But at that time, I mean, it was just talks of trying to decide on what we're going to do with the stuff we have here. Are we keeping houses, selling houses? Like, it was just talks of what our options were. And then, like I said, my pastor had some family in St. Louis where I was supposed to be headed. So they were like, my family could stay there. My husband, of course, wasn't going to be able to go because, you still got to work.
Right.
So, but my parents were definitely going to be going with me. And my brother was supposed to be in charge of holding down everything here while we're there. So that was pretty much what the talk was. My dad just kind of ran it like, we know what we got to do. We're okay because we know what we have to do. So let's just do it. But when I went back and it was, no, you're not going. It was like, okay. And then go back again. And they're like, no, you don't, there's no reason for you to go at all. Those are just, you just kind of see God work in that sense. And those getting so much bad news and knowing that you're going to have to, have this 2 major surgeries because we're going to do the lungs and the heart. And to get, they just tell you, no, you're not going anywhere. We'll see, come back in 30 days. We'll test you again. And like I said, in the next 30 days, they told me they'll see me in 3 months.
Because you were preparing for a lung and heart transplant, correct?
Correct. So that, I'm not sure. That's just something I never asked questions on, why St. Louis or how long would I be in St. Louis.
Were they going to do them at the same time?
Yes. That was and again, I don't know. That would have just had to be the perfect match from one donor,
right?
Per se. But that was what they told me. They're going to open me up and do everything at the same time.
Wow. That would have been a really intense, long surgery.
The long surgery and then the recovery process. Yes. They didn't sugarcoat it. They told me it was going to be rough.
And I have so much respect for surgeons because sometimes those surgeries are 10 and 12 hours, and the team that you have in there, I've actually been able to observe some surgeries, and it's crazy what they do to your body. So it's amazing how our body repairs itself and how our body heals. But the surgeries are the surgeons, you have anesthesiologists, and sometimes you have another surgeon in there. So the amount of people on a team that goes in and does this, I have a lot of respect for the surgeons and the staff, the surgical tech. It is such a huge room of people when you're going through this. When you go in the room, there's only, the doctor says, hey, okay, this is what we're going to do, anesthesiologist. You don't see all these 20 people, and then later you get all these 20 people in. So you never had the heart or lung transplant. Was it going to be 2 lungs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So you never lung and heart.
Okay. Okay, so when did you get the jetpack?
I had the jetpack in '09. That was the first thing that they put me on after I had the baby.
Okay.
I didn't think that it fit my swag at the time. Me walking around carrying this thing. I'm newly married. I ain't trying to,
Right.
So I became the most non-compliant patient. So when I was supposed to be tapering up on the medication, I was tapering down. I'm like, if I don't need such a high dose and I'm functioning, like I went back to work and everything. Like I was out of work for 3 months. I went back to work. Like I started, life, trying to go back to normal, but I didn't think that fit my style at the time. So I wanted to try all the other options. And so I tapered myself down to where pretty much I was hardly getting any medication from it. So they had to take me off of it because it just wasn't pumping enough for the vein to stay open. So they took me off of that, and I tried a inhaler that pretty much is called Tyvaso. And it's about this big, and it looks like or it smokes as if it's a smoking device that you have, or maybe like a nebulizer type of treatment, but it's portable. I did try that, but I had to carry around it was in a big briefcase. It's lots of pieces to put together, battery packs, and I had to do it more frequently. It was like every 4 to 6 hour type of situation. So after being on that for a while, I realized it was more hassle than what the pump was. So then I went from that to, what did I try after? Oh, they had a smaller pump, but it went through the abdomen area. Kind of the same type of injection like when how they do for the diabetic.
Right.
So how it has that pin and you push it up against your skin and pop it in. It was like that with a real small pump, probably about this big, and it was round. So not like that. It was just something I could hide a lot more easier, but the medication was extremely painful. They sent that with their own, what they call PLO gel. So it came with its own pain cream because it caused so much pain at the injection site. So then I had to start strapping like bands across my abdomen area that had ice packs in it to cover that area because it was so painful. So that didn't work for me either. So I got off of that, and then I went on to a ton of pills. So I was taking pills every 3 hours. And I was like, it just didn't, I'm at work and I'm having to stop and go and swallow like a handful. Right. So I'm looking at all of that compared to the pump that I had. And then by then I had my son, and he was about 2.5, and I just felt like he was moving a lot. And I was like, we going outside. He takes off running. I'm like, I can't keep up with him. Maybe I need to go back on the pump. And that's how I ended back up, going back to the pump. And that was like 2014, 2015 when I went back on the pump. And that's where Jetpack came from, because once I got it, he was like, Mommy, what's this for? I was like, it's going to help me keep up with you. It's going to help Mama keep up with you. And he said, oh, that's your Jetpack. It's going to help you go fast. And I've had Mr. Jetpack here ever since. I like it. the medication, instead of using Flolan, I started to use what they call Velitri. So I can mix for the whole week. So the medication goes into this bottom piece here.
Uh-huh.
So on Sunday, I can sit down and mix for the whole week. Every night at 9 o'clock. So I have a second device here. So I'll hook the new cassette up to this one, turn it on, get it ready to go, and just switch the tubing from one pump to the other, and then turn this one off. And I only have to deal with it once a day, and that's at 9 o'clock at night, because that's when I'm normally get ready to climb into my bed. So other than that, I don't have to touch it or mess with it throughout the day. It goes off every 40. I think we timed it either 40 or 45 seconds.
Okay.
To
So
give me a dose of medication.
So you have the tubing. Where's the tubing connected to?
It's here.
Okay. And so every.
I have a Hickman.
Okay. And that is going directly to the heart?
Yes. So it runs up in this area and then down and across into the heart. And puts it right into there, and it pumps it from there right into the lungs.
Okay. So every 45 seconds it delivers medication?
Yes.
And
I do a total of 76 milliliters every 24 hours.
Okay. Are there any side effects from it?
Oh God, yes. So how I'm red, it causes the skin to be red. It makes me hot. So it's almost like hot flashes, and it's never a same time or place. It just kind of happens. But the joint pain is the worst of it. So I have, like when I go to eat that first meal or the first thing that I eat in the morning, I have it from here down the side on both sides. And it's the most painful experience. And that's every morning. My hands, the worst is my ankles and my knees. So as they increase the medication, the pain increases as well. So I had to do an increase this year actually. So that sucked. So
what determines if you need an increase?
Well, in February, my Hickman got infected, and they tried to what they call save it. So instead of doing surgery and just putting in a new line, they just wanted to treat me with oral antibiotics. This where a lot of what I feel like mistreatment come in, or not listening to your patients come in. I voted to change the line. My pulmonologist wanted to change the line. Infectious disease wanted to change it. The surgeon did not want to. He wanted to save the line because he said eventually I'm going to run out of places to put it. I told him I wanted to live long enough to run out of places versus, unaliving with 5 more places left. Like, that doesn't make sense. There's other medications I can use outside of this. This isn't my only option. So since he didn't do surgery, I came home with the oral antibiotics, and at that point it was on this side. So I had swelling here, up my neck, into my face. So I'm sending pictures through my chart showing the swelling. I'm telling them, I'm struggling, I can't breathe. So they had me come in to do a CT scan to see if I had clots at the time. It took them 11 tries to get an IV in me to even run the dye. So after 11 attempts, they finally got it. We did the test. There was no clots. They sent me back home. As soon as the antibiotics was finished, everything went downhill. So now we're into March. I took my son to school. I called my dad, like, I got to go to the hospital now. I was like, my baby's at school, but I got to go, like, right now. So when I got to Emory that morning, I had oxygen levels where my pulse ox was at 78, and I had a fever of 102. So because it got so bad, I ended up being in the hospital for 2 weeks. Trying to fight this infection. I had to do another increase because it was just so bad, and I couldn't breathe. I just couldn't.
And
I couldn't get my numbers back to normal.
The more increase, the more pain, the more symptoms that you have.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
The oral antibiotic, I'm assuming, did not work at all.
No, because as soon as I was done, it just everything just started to swell. It just got worse. So we end up having to do surgery, which I felt like we could have did it in February and been done with it. But you guys really put my life in danger, because now I'm back with these, low oxygen, got a fever, and now, let's do surgery.
And you're a full code, right?
What do you mean?
Like, when you go to the hospital, you could be a DNR, do not resuscitate, or you could be a partial, but you can, save my life, do what you can to save
Yes.
my life. Okay,
Yes.
so that's why it's just like, if you had been a partial, or if you had been DNR, I could see the surgeon saying, okay, I don't want to go through this. But when you're a full code, to me, they should do everything in their power, everything they can to save you, regardless of if it's a surgery or what. You should go through the drastic measures to make sure you save that person's life. That is one thing that irritates me about Western medicine.
Yeah, I just don't understand how the surgeon, like, I mean, I know him. He's done all of my Hickmans, but I don't understand how he doesn't treat me. He never sees me unless I need surgery. How can he make that decision?
Right.
Like, wouldn't we go off of what my pulmonologist says, the doctor that actually sees me and treat me? And why did I have to get so bad in order for you to do? You still had to do the surgery, so now what? You still end up having to. And we've tried this twice in the past, and both times it did not work. So when we started talking transplant again, like the clip that I put on my page from when Fox 5 did the interview with me, that wasn't my pulmonary hypertension that set that off. That was them not doing surgery, trying to save a line, and the infection spread. That's what set everything in motion for me to have to go through the process for the transplant the second time. It wasn't my pulmonary hypertension. It was just a regular a Hickman infection, and they wanted to save it.
Do they know what caused it? Like, did you have a code or anything?
That caused the infection.
Yeah.
They said that it's a foreign object in the body. Eventually, it's going to attack it. Like that line. I had that line for over 2 years with no issues. Okay. It's been times I've had it for 6 months and it's been an issue. So they said after this one, they're going to look into some type of tubing that's made out of some type of special material that maybe my body won't reject. But I haven't figured out why that has not been offered to me in the past with having the issues that I've been having with the lines. Why are we keeping that a secret?
Right.
And then he's like, we have the special order. I don't care. Like, I don't care about it. It's not like you're not going to use it.
Right.
So you're telling me there's something out there that my body might accept better than what I have now, but I don't have access to it? Like,
and they
can talk about the mistreatment all day.
Yeah, they couldn't give you an explanation, could they?
No, he just said that the next time we'll order it. But if I'm in the hospital because of a line infection, that means I need surgery now. Right. How long is it going to take to order it? How long will it take to receive it? But the oral antibiotics have proven, like, this is the third time that it did not go well for me trying to save the line.
And to me, after a third time and trying to save it and go through the antibiotics, why not just order in the first place? Because sometimes there could not be a next time. So why won't you just take the precautions, take the necessary steps, do the procedure properly to actually save the patient? That's another thing that irritates me with Western medicine. I've been in medicine for 30 years and it baffles me. And maybe I don't understand everything, but it just baffles me, some of the stuff that they do. And why is it always the surgeon's decision? And the surgeon never actually treats you and he never sees you. The surgeon will see you before surgery. He might see you 5 minutes and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And that's it. They're not the doctor that is treating you. So that just baffles me.
So I don't know how he was able to outvote. I mean, me as the patient, okay, maybe. But if my pulmonologist is saying the same thing and infectious disease is saying the same thing, I just don't understand how one man's vote outweighed the team.
Right.
Like, I have a team for a reason. Like, you guys are supposed to work together. So how is he the say all be all?
Right. So,
you know.
so speaking of infections and things like that, so C19, thank you so much for the gifts, you guys. So C19, did you have to take extra precautions, and were you
They terrified me with that. Don't leave the house, don't go anywhere, don't do anything, don't have visitors. I've had, I think, 2 positive tests.
no symptoms or anything from it?
Didn't even know I had. So